Because in order to elevate to that level that you really want to be, where you really making some money, it has to be a leap.
So I did all that by leveraging my personal credit.
And it may be a hard pill for the Black community as a whole to swallow, but the system is not broken. The system is working exactly the way it needs to.
Yo, 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 what's up, beautiful people? What's up, my family? It is another banger. I'm coming back with another banger with the Wealthy and Healthy podcast. It's your host, KDK Capri, and I kept telling y'all we was gonna keep coming with some heat. We've been going kind of crazy lately, growing a little bit of an audience, and I'm so excited for this next guest. And I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I've been doing a little bit of hard work trying to keep everything steady with the podcast, but this is probably my most anticipated interview yet, right? We are getting back into entrepreneurship. Let's start talking about the finances. Let's start talking about the money. Let's get back to the bag, right? We always talk about the bag. Last episode was beautiful. We talked about health, but in this specific episode, I got someone that is very established in the content area, right? And I'm excited for this episode, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. So in this episode, we're gonna be talking about content. How important is content? How important is having your own products, whether they're digital or physical? Having your own business, standing on business in 2026. It is a new year, and it's time to get to this bag. It's time to make connections. It's time to empower each other. It is time to do what we haven't done before, right? And everybody's getting bigger, and I'm excited for success this year. This is actually going to be my first interview this year. We wrote out the last episode, but this is going to be our first interview of 2026. So let me introduce this new guest, right? This is Mary. So I am excited to have Mary on the podcast today, and I'm going to let her introduce herself because, I always like to let everybody tell us what they got going on in 2026. But I want y'all to take notes this episode. I really do want y'all to take notes this episode. And I'm excited, and we're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to chop it up like we always do. So please, Mary, please tell us where you're from, what you got going on, and how we are standing on business in 2026. I want you to introduce that to everybody.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. We are standing on business every single day in 2026 and here on out. My name is Mary. I go by More with Mary. That is my LLC business. You can see me on all the platforms as More with Mary, or you can get me at More with Mary LLC. Last year in 2025, I took all of my friends and everybody that I met online by networking and on social media, and I met them in person, right? So I took all of my friends out the Blue app, out the TikTok app, and met them in person to network. That was my big thing that I did in 2025. We completed the year with my very first women's empowerment event, and that has turned into the Standing on Business tour that we are doing nationwide in 2026. The first one is in Kansas City in April, which is the city that I am at right now. Then we are going to be moving to Texas, Atlanta, and God willing, we will be in Boston by the end of 2026. I'm really here to talk about social media and what it has done for me and what it will do for you. Everybody has to have social media. It is your online business card. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care how you catch your coins. You have to have social media, and you really need to understand the importance of that and how to create that, right? How to create that with content, how to create that with networking, how to find your people that are all over the world, right? We are not catching coins by being friends with our aunts and our mamas, right? And our uncles on Facebook and TikTok, right? It is networking and finding our people. That is how we are standing on business. So I'm super excited to be here today and to really talk with y'all about what we got going on.
2025, it was, everybody was, I feel like it was a time where people were trying to figure it out, right? People, still recovering from, COVID. Everybody is trying to figure out where, they're going to go in their business. But one thing that I did see skyrocket a lot was digital products. It may be just, it may be just me, but I've seen digital products going all the way crazy. Everybody had a digital product. Everybody was selling something on Etsy or something like that. But
Yeah.
now we're moving into 26. So tell me, what's your biggest goal in 2026, and what are you thinking about, like you said, you're bringing everybody together. What is your biggest goal with, collaborations this year?
The biggest goals is really just hitting different cities, right? I was able to collab with a ton of women in Wichita, where I did my first event. And it took me about 6 months to get it all together, right? And I had 12 women that came and spoke and talked about their journeys. And at the end of it, when I was speaking on stage and talking to everybody there, every woman that was a part of my event, whether they were a vendor or they were a speaker, right? They were a sponsor, every woman there I met on Facebook, literally, right? And they became close friends. And so that is what people really need to understand what the magic is, right? Like, I am not just trying to find, like childhood friends and all of that to come and do business with me, right? If you can do that, that's cool, right? If you've got family and people you could do business with, great, right? But that's not what I was looking for at all. Okay. And I always say that I live in my own delusion, right? And so people really thought for the last 5 years that I was delusional and crazy, because they're like, this girl's just a social media girl. What is she doing? Right? She's not gonna make any money. What is she doing on here? What is she talking about? And literally, it took till January 2026 for a lot of people that have followed me for years. They'd be like, "Girl, I get it. I finally get it. Now I want some of what you were talking about." But the networking with people that I have never met and becoming close with them is my biggest goal in 2026, and that's why I'm taking the Standing on Business tour across the country, right? And the reason why I started this is because my big goal a couple years ago with More with Mary was to speak on stage, right? That was my big goal. I got out of affiliate marketing. I was with a company and made a lot of money. And they told me that nobody would ever take me seriously when I told them that I wanted to step out and teach other people social media. I want to teach other women. And they were like, nobody will take you seriously. Mind you, I was doing it for free for their company, right?
Mm.
So that's why I stepped out, and I really wanted to get on stage, and I spent a lot of money. Girl, I spent a lot of money learning, right, and trying to get with different agencies and get myself on stage, and it didn't work. And it's not that I didn't have it, right? It's not that I didn't feel like I had the sauce. It's just, it's a part of their money game, and I'm not knocking your hustle. It just didn't get me where I wanted to be, but I learned a lot. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make my own stage. And that's what I did with this event. And that's what I'm doing for other women. That is the goal. I want these Standing on Business tours and these women's events that More with Mary is bringing to your city. And we'll come to other cities too. That's a big goal. 2026 is not the only year, it's just the beginning. But I want to go into cities, and I want these women to understand that they have a story and they have a place and they're allowed to have the spotlight, right? And wherever that takes you, I want you to go there, right? I want you to go there. Well, whatever that may be, right? Whether you want to start a new business, whether you have a book, right? Or you want to go on stage too and you want to travel. I want More with Mary's tours to give you that opportunity, because everybody deserves that. Everybody deserves to have their spotlight and be heard and be able to achieve whatever they want to. So that's the big goal this year, is to hit these cities and meet new women. And all of my friends that I'm meeting on here, go meet them in person and gather their groups of women and just continue to grow, because we need that powerhouse. And it's not just in one city. We need that powerhouse all over the country.
We sure do. We sure do. And I
Mhm.
like a few things that you said, and I love that you said collaborations, because, like you said, you met all of you, the people that came to speak at your event on Facebook, and I can definitely, relate to that, because all the people that I've gotten on the podcast so far, we've met over social media. So
Right.
I love the fact of just going out and meeting people online, and that's the biggest, it's like a marketing pool right now. It doesn't matter whether you're on TikTok to YouTube to Facebook. It doesn't matter. You have to be on some type of social media to be able
Yeah.
to reach people, because even if you're in your own city, right, you might, you're going to have some local trust. You could get some local trust, right? But you
Mhm.
always want to be able to reach people on a bigger and different level. And your people
Absolutely.
may be in Indonesia. You don't know.
Hello.
Like, you really
Right.
don't know. So the more you put yourself out there, the more you see results. And I love that you said that.
Mhm.
And I love that you said the Standing on Business tour is not only going in your city, but you branching out, you doing big things. So I love that. And we might have to get you in Colorado, because we got a
Well, I
lot of
told
business.
you. I
Yes.
told you we can do
We
it. We can
we
do
gonna talk. We
it.
gonna do that. I love that. So let me ask you this, like, how did you build this business? Like, what did you build this business on? I know you said all of it is about women empowerment, putting yourself on the stage, doing that public speaking, but what made you go down the road of going to social media? I know it's a big thing, but what about that calls you? to
Yeah,
whatever, doing more.
absolutely. Everything that I created from nothing. And I'm very big on that. And I have a series coming March 1st. I'm working on it right now. But everything that I have that I have built, that I have created, came from absolutely nothing. Right. I spent most of my 20s. I wasn't on social media. Right. Like I did the MySpace thing and I'm 35. Okay. So like 2006, 2007, 2008, we had MySpace, right? That was our social media. And
Like
I
four.
got off of social media for most of my 20s. And after I was divorced and my kids were little, I was kind of starting my life, over and stuff. And I had built a cleaning business. And I moved to a new city. I needed to restart it. So I was like, you know what? Go ahead and get on Facebook. I'm gonna see what this is, and at this point, I'm like, this is 2017, 2018. And I reconnected with so many people. And I built my cleaning business up fairly quickly, right? Fast forward a couple of years, I was working like 15 hours a day. I was coaching cheerleading. I was cleaning for schools. I was running my own cleaning business, and I was tired. I was exhausted, and I needed a little bit more, but I didn't know what to do. And so I started affiliate marketing, and I was known as the tanning gel girl. And I sold enough tanning gel bottles in a few days to make my house payment. And so I was like, I can do this. Like, I
Hello.
can really, really do this. And
Mm.
so I pushed through, and I was with that company for a few years. And with that, it was a free business. And, we taught people how to promote this on social media, right? So with that, I learned a lot of the back end stuff, right? How to post your content, what time, how to not cold message people, right? How to not be gross, right? Just keep it cute, right? Keep it professional, and how to balance your life, right, with your business and what you're doing, and grow that. And I will tell you that it took me a little longer to grow, um, because I really wanted it to be genuine. Like companies will say, oh, we want you to be genuine, want you to build a relationship, but they would be like, hey, go friend this girl and tell her that her earrings are cute, and then tell her she needs to join the business. That's not real. There's nothing real about that at all. I don't know that girl. I don't know her favorite color. I don't know about her kids. I don't know if she's got a dog. I'm not going to tell her to join my business. So it took me a little bit longer, but I had so many authentic connections that it helped me in the long run, right? Because I was growing, but I wasn't on there just because I wanted the spotlight for you to look at me and buy a tanning gel. That wasn't the point of any of it, right? So I just loved it. I loved the connection. And mind you, I was, a single mom with 5 babies that wasn't on social media for 10 years. So I had no connection for almost a whole decade in my early 20s. So to be on social media and get to interact with people, because you don't have time. Nobody has time to go and meet all these people when you're raising babies. But I was able to have real connections, is how I felt, on social media. And so after I had left that company, when they told me, they're like, yeah, nobody's going to take you seriously if you branch out, even though, of course, I was doing it for free. I was like, I'm out of here, because I take myself seriously. I don't care what you're doing over here, but you're not going to collect money off of me for what I know, and you think that nobody's going to take me seriously out here. So I literally just created More with Mary. That's what I did. I LLC'd More with Mary. I started taking on clients and helping people with social media. I started to write my books. I started to do speaking things. And so that's really what More with Mary is. It's marketing and social media. And, now I am getting in rooms and places where I have the opportunities to do big things. And all that came from was by me saying, you know what, I take myself seriously. This is my company. It is More with Mary. I have done this for years. And so I'm going to do it on my own, and I'm going to do it the way that I want to, right? I'm going to help people the way that I want to and show up the way I want to. And that came from nothing. Right. It came from me learning how to grow a business by cleaning toilets and making fast cash, all the way up to me being able to just build my brand and do what I want and help people make money this way.
Yep. And it's crazy to say because a lot of entrepreneurs end up in their business like that. Like they get their
Yeah.
back against the wall. They're tired of
Mm-hmm.
working for people who don't know their worth. They're tired of
Mm-hmm.
getting, overworked and underpaid. And they
Right.
have to take that step to invest in themselves. Once you start investing in yourself, I feel like that's when things start to change. So I like that, you like you say, everything came from nothing, and it all starts with
Mhm.
something in you. So if
Yeah.
you're an entrepreneur, you got to be able to stand on business, and you always got to come back to saying, man, is this what I want? Is this what I want to do? Is this something that I could stand on? Like, can I stand on this? Can you really stand behind the things that you're doing in your business? And a
Yeah.
lot of these people is out here, some of these people out here making funny money, and it's really not, it's not authentic. It's not authentic. It's not organic. It's nothing. It's like it's like me in the credit repair space, right? These people
Yeah.
out here credit, and they got bad credit, and you see a lot of wave of, just misinformation, right? And I like the fact that we're actually talking about content today, because I just started getting into trying to build my own content, right? And when you start building your content, right, how do you know what's going to work for you? How do you say, okay, this is my audience? First of all, how do you find your audience? And then how do you build something from that audience for that audience, but still be authentic and organic to your values? Like, how you even start? Because I'm wondering.
You just start. You just start. If you're trying to figure out what's the formula and what's your secret sauce and what's the ingredients, or you think that you know what people want from you, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You just have to start, right? So you have to authentically start with how you see yourself, because not how you want other people to see you. Okay. Because that can be lies, right? How do you see yourself? How do you want to show up and have other people see you as how you feel deep in your soul, right? If you feel that and you show up that way, then your following and your clients and your people that are supposed to see you are going to come to you, right? I used to feel like I needed to separate me from being a mom to what I was doing with my business when I started out, because I was like, I get tired of just everything is I'm a mom, I'm a mom, I'm a mom. I wanted something for myself, right? But a lot of people were attracted to the fact that I was a single mom and I could do this, right? And so even though I was like, it's what people liked. And so it ended up being my content that people liked. Now my kids are older, right? And they will TikTok all day, but they do not want to be my content. They don't want to be my content, right? So I'm like, people gonna think that I don't love y'all anymore because you're not my content. But they're older, right? And so it's just kind of transitioned a little bit. But something that I learned for myself personally is I thought that um, my audience was going to be women of my age, right? Or maybe women younger. Okay. And shout out to all the women, but women that are younger or women that are my age, a lot of us feel like we know it all, right? And I'm not talking shade, but we feel like we have the knowledge, right? And sometimes it's very difficult for us to accept that we need to learn from each other, and that's where that collaboration comes from too, right? Because once you get over that and you start collaborating, then you have an understanding that we really do all need each other, right? Because if we get together and we do things, we can have more together, right? If we do it together. That's where More with Mary comes from. But my audience ends up being women that are a little bit older than me. Okay. And that is because they are already kind of set in their ways. A lot of them have already built their businesses. They're either successful or, they're trying to pivot. They want to do something a little different with their age. And social media is not quite their ticket, right? Like they're on it, but they're like, Mary, I'm on here and I'm trying and I'm not quite sure. But they like what I have going on. So that ends up being my audience. And I didn't even know that, but that just was organic and came natural. So I didn't stress about it. I just kept putting out content that I liked and stuff about me. And if you stress about it, it's not going to work. Okay, if you overthink it, it's not going to work. If you just show up as who you are and who you want people to know you are, then your audience is going to organically come to
I remember when I first started my TikTok, right?
you.
And I posted like some videos, when you just put some, you might just be walking in a restaurant, then you just put
Right.
something over it. Those videos went viral. But then I started doing like whatever different people have different versions of viral, but it was viral for me because I was like, dang, 10,000 views, that's crazy. So
Mhm.
then
Yeah.
I started doing like reviews. So I started trying out different things. And if you see a page and you start to see the growth, you start to see people trying different things. Like if you see,
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
maybe they tried this thing. I started doing reviews, and then I started getting comments and I started getting reactions. and I started
Mhm.
getting people engaging. So let me
Mhm.
ask you this. When you're talking about organic content, how important is it to, get engagement? How important is it to actually make messages or make content that people want to engage with? And how can you leverage that engagement?
That's a full question. So engagement is important because if you don't have engagement, all of your content goes nowhere, right? If you are posting stuff and that nobody ever sees it, it's going to be very difficult. Now, this is something that is kind of new and it can be tricky for people. And I'm not a huge fan of it, but it is what it is because I know what it's like on the back end, right? In the end, it all has to do with your views and who sees it, right? Now that I have a bigger following, right, and I'm doing more in business, I personally have less likes, right? But if I look at my insights, it'll say your views are 300% more than usual. And I'm like, well, dang, y'all didn't like it. You didn't comment. What? So if you look at my page, it'll look like it wasn't that serious, but people are seeing it and I got paid for it. So I don't care that much. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, that's fine. You know, as I get bigger and stuff too, you looked at it at least, right? So if you did, if you didn't want to like it, you didn't want to comment, it's fine because I still got my coins because you were still watching what I'm doing. So that is okay. But engaging is so big. And what people don't understand is if you are engaging with people, if I post something and you comment on it, right? And then I heart it and I respond to you, right? Then we started a conversation. What's going to happen with that is the next time you post something on your page, it's going in my newsfeed. So I'm going to see you and vice versa, right? Because you and I have a messenger and we chop it up, we're going to see what each other are posting. So if you keep that engagement up with your people, then you're constantly going to see each other's stuff, right? And I've been really big on reminding everybody that you can make money for yourself and your friends if you are engaging, right? And what people don't realize, I kind of had to dumb this down just a little bit. And I don't mean that offensive, but I kind of had to make it real simple for people to be like, girl, yes. I'm like, this is what I've been telling y'all for 5 years. I'm like, if you heart and comment on your friends' content, you are helping them pay their bills. Think about it. How it is so simple, right? These apps are free. Nothing in this world is free. But Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, these apps are literally free. The world is in front of you. It is in your cell phone for free. You can talk to whoever, you can make whatever network, you could tell the world whoever you that you are whoever you want to be, right? Before I even started speaking on stage, you know what I did? I told people that I was a speaker, right? I had done some speaking engagements, but I hadn't been on big stages yet, right? But I told people that I was a speaker because I have a story. And because of that, I was able to land opportunities. I posted last year that my goal at the end of 2025 was to sing the national anthem. Okay, I hadn't sang the national anthem since I was 17 years old. I had not sang the national anthem. I'm 35 now. I got a message because somebody saw that and they asked me if I would come and sing the national anthem at my alma mater in October. And I did. I did 18 years later. And that happened because I spoke on it, right? It happened because I posted it. It happened because it was content. And you know, my biggest content was in 2025 was me singing the national anthem. Hello, right? And there was a whole lot of engagement with that too. So another thing too is if you have clients or you have dream clients, right? Or people that you're like, this is my girl. I don't know what she has going on, but we're going to collab in some way, shape, or form. I don't even know what her business is. I just really like her. Then have a conversation, right? Have a conversation with people and don't get weird and cold message and talk to people about weird stuff. Don't do that. Please don't do that, right? It's not cute. It's not welcoming. Do not do that. But if you are really feeling somebody's vibe, have a conversation. That's what it's for. Okay. And we are way past the age of people being like, I don't know who this person is that's sending me a message. If people are like that, they shouldn't be on these platforms anymore because the world has really changed.
Ooh, I like the way that you talk about content because it's not about I hear a lot of people talk about algorithms a lot. Like it's all about the
Mhm.
algorithm. You got to put hashtags on it. You got to do keywords and that that works. It does work. There's always a science to it. but it's all about being organic. Like if you're organic and you just get in the camera and you just really talk, you just talk like you talk if you were off the camera and you really have
Right.
something to talk about, you have a story. Because I like that you said, before you even were a speaker, you said you were a speaker. Because I did the
Yeah.
exact same thing, and I've been
Yeah.
trying to get into public speaking, and then one day I just was like, on Facebook once again. And I'm in a
Hmm.
group in like a Colorado Black owned business group. And
Yeah.
somebody just posted, we're looking for speakers. Then I had another person that I brought on the podcast. She had invited me to speak at one of her events. So one
Yeah.
time just of speaking things into existence, things just happen. And it's all about being organic, especially because if you're just like people vibe off of energy, people feed off of
Yeah.
energy. So if you're giving out that energy, you're gonna get it back in return. So
Yeah.
ooh, I
Absolutely.
like that. So let me ask you this, right? And
Hmm.
I want to kind of transition into something, right? Because a
Yeah.
lot of people, and I had hired a business, a marketing team, right, a couple years ago, and I didn't like the way they were marketing my business. It was something that I was trying to do with a business overseas, right? So I'm
Hmm.
thinking like, they're telling me I need a business page. I'm like, I got more followers on my personal page, so I don't want to kind of start over. So let me ask you, should someone have a business page or can you build off of your personal account? Like, can you build off of, just a Athena Evans? Can I build off of just my personal account or should I just go get a business page?
Mm, I say do both, but your main page is your sauce. Okay, your main page is your secret sauce. Now, I understand when you have business pages and you have groups and stuff too, all of that is great. I have More Money with Mary, that has been a group page for a couple years, and that's for entrepreneurs to come and learn things, right? And me to be able to kind of talk about my services just a little bit more. I just started Publish with Mary as a group. For people that are interested in self-publishing their books, right? I do webinars for free so people can learn that, right? And then I have services for them if they need help later on. Business pages are just a little bit different. I say that if you want to have a business page, it's absolutely great. Okay. And the wonderful thing about having groups and business pages is it's just extra places for you to post, right? It's extra places for you to share your own content because you don't need to share other people's content. Ain't no reason to do that. Facebook doesn't even like that. But Facebook wants you to share your own content. So one good thing about a business page is it's an extra spot, right? It's an extra spot for you. It's an extra space for you, but don't let that take away from your personal page. Okay. And if you are very big in business and entrepreneurship and all that, talk about it on your main page. Don't keep all that stuff separately. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Let's say, I'll give you an example. When I had my cleaning business, and I'm kind of retired out of that now. But when I was really big in my cleaning business, I did have a business page, and my business page didn't always get a ton of attention, but I always had it there, right? So that way people could see, okay, she's legit. She's got a business page. She's actually a business. And I would comment, there would be a post that says, "Hey, I'm looking for a cleaning company," and I would look, and there would be 100 comments already, where I would be tagged, and I'd be like, I don't even know if I want to waste my time, right? But I always hearted it. I commented on it, and then I went and messaged that person and said, "Hey, I was tagged in your post. My company is so and so. If you have not found a company, I would love to chat. Here is my number." And you know what they did? They went to my Facebook page. They didn't go to my diamond cleaning page. They went to my Facebook page. So then they realized, okay, this woman has a presence, right? She knows how to post. She knows what she's talking about. She doesn't have a Snapchat filter with the devil horns and talking about her baby daddy drama, right? Or
Mm.
blasting somebody on there. Okay. And I got the cleanings, right? That was my sale. I didn't have to hardly sell anything. It was my online business card. Even though it wasn't my cleaning page, it was me. I sold myself just by my presence on there. So a business page is good. Yes, have 10 business pages. I don't care how many business pages you have, but do not let that take away from your main page. Make sure that that main page is super solid.
Hmm. Okay, okay. How important is a website?
I think it depends on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Um, I think it depends on what you're doing and what you have to offer, right? I believe that if you are in the service industry, right? I think that is super simple way. You want a system, right? And so a website can be an easy funnel and an easy way to have a system with that too, right? Like let's say you do lashes, let's say you do hair, let's say you have a lot of clients that you meet with one-on-one. A website might be something that you want for your booking. Okay. Maybe you have a new venture and you want that to be separate. And so I think a website is cool. But a website is not the end all be all whatsoever. Okay. And a lot of people don't even ask, do you have a website, right? People are going to go to your social media first. Okay. And I am very big on one of my e-courses is be a social media boss, right? The social media boss and is how to build your brand without paid ads. Okay. I do not believe in ads, to each his own. I do not believe in ads. And I am proof of the pudding that I did not have to do that. I just had to brand myself and understand my marketing and myself. Okay. So a website is an extra thing. I'm not against it. I have a stand store, right? I do have that where, where my stuff is marketed, and that's fine. But it is not, it's not that important. And I have a lot of people that are like, girl, I just started this business and I got all this business paperwork and now I'm going to do my website and I have somebody doing my business plan. Stop. Stop. Okay, because you're going to get yourself tired and doing all that back end stuff when you should have just got on social media and made a cute page and started building your brand and telling people what you're doing. And that didn't cost you a thing, right? And you spent some time in the day building the social media, right? Building something that is professional, something cute where people actually know you, right? Because the services don't even matter at the end of the day too, right? Like it does not matter. You could sell lip glosses and I could sell lip glosses. We could sell the same lip gloss. Right. But if we're not, if I'm not talking about the lip glosses, right, and I'm not showing up and I'm not talking about it, but you are, they're buying the lip gloss from you. Point blank, period. Right. If I'm on here talking about negative stuff and I'm bashing people and I don't have nothing nice to say, right, and you are positive Patsy and you got the lip gloss on, they're buying lip gloss from you. And they ain't got nothing to do with the website either. Nothing.
Is it organic? Is it
Yeah.
organic? Yes. So let me ask you. I want to kind of shift into something different, right? And
Mhm.
we talked a lot about entrepreneurship. We talked about social media. But let me ask you this: how has all this changed you for the better? You said you started from nothing. You made all this out of nothing. You had your back against the wall, and like I said, a lot of entrepreneurs go through it. But what about entrepreneurship made you say, "This is what I want to do. This is what's going to change me. This is my lane"?
I think when it comes to entrepreneurship, I believe that anybody can do anything, and I believe that you can do whatever the hell you want to do, right? And can't nobody stop you but you. I truly believe that. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, I really feel like you got it or you don't. It's in you or it's not, right? Now, you cannot have it, and you build yourself up to having it too, and that's okay. But this is what I was made for. I started cleaning houses on my own at 14 because I wanted money, right? Because I couldn't go get a job, right? And so there was always in my mind, it was always, what else can I do? Right? What else can I make? What else can I create? And the older that I have gotten to, my mind has so many ideas and so many things going on. There is no way that I could just sit and work for somebody tell me what I'm doing, right? And build something that had nothing to do with me. And it would have made me absolutely crazy. And so the amazing thing with social media and being an entrepreneur that makes it so different too is that it makes it all possible. It makes it all possible for anybody, right? It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, where you live, how much money you have in your pocket. None of that matters at all. None of it, right? You could not have a dollar. I'll tell you what, I didn't have a dollar and I was starting my cleaning business up and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do this week. I don't know how I'm going to make it, but we're going to figure it out. And just by word of mouth, I made a couple $1,000s that week in cleanings. And it wasn't from people that were my cleaning clients. It was from people that knew who I was because I showed up. So social media, I don't want to say social media is everything, but social media is everything. And I wouldn't be anywhere that I am without it, anywhere at all. It's such a magical and beautiful tool. And some people don't like it, I mean, there's a lot of horrible things that are going on in our world right now, right?
Right.
Our world is
That's
so
right.
ugly and there is so much hate and there is so much stuff going on, and I've had days too where I'm like, I could spend 15 to 18 hours a day on my phone for real, right? Like
Yeah.
this is what I do. You know, and I have days sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to shut it off, or I want to tell somebody about themselves. You know, I'm ready to get this civil rights activist out in me and start speaking. I want to do a post. I want to tell you about you. You know, I want to do that. It crushes me. However, and that's a little off subject, but actually speak on what's right and speak what's on beautiful, you know, what's beautiful, and speak for our people, right? 'Cause our people, all the human beings are around us, right? We got to show up with love and respect, and
Yes.
we got to take care of each other. Absolutely. But you know, it can be ugly, right? And that can be very difficult for people too. But take that out of it, right? Be the light and be the positivity, right? And be that cheerleader. And that has been my absolute favorite thing to do. Never had anything to do with business, but to get on here and to tell you congratulations, to tell you I'm proud of you, to tell you that your baby is so cute, right? To tell you that your outfit is cute, girl, right? Congratulations. I'm
Right.
so glad to see after all the hardships of 20 years, right, that you found the love of your life, right? Or that you started a new job, or whatever, right? Whatever that is, it is so important to show each other love and to make people feel important, because everybody is important. And that's why I love social media. And social media really, I feel like it kind of saved me a little bit. You know, I hadn't been on it for so long, and I felt alive that I had this world in my phone that I could
Right.
access. It was really big for me. And the fact that I was able to just show up and be seen, and show up exactly as I am, and people loved me for that. And then I was able to market that and grow businesses and show other people that they could do that. It's all you have to do. All you have to do is to show up for yourself and tell people who you are and what you stand on and what you're trying to do. You are going to find everything that you want in life, and that is from social media, period.
Yeah. Listen, y'all. Commercial break. Y'all didn't even need to take notes because this is more of a mindset type of conversation.
Mhm.
Love this type of conversation because you
Yeah,
get certain things when you feed off of energy. And the
yeah,
energy that you bring in, Mary, is giving people hope that things are going to change. That even if, they don't, even if they can't get on social media today, maybe they watch this and they might change something up about their business. When I first
mhm,
started, I hated getting in front of the camera. Then I started a
yeah,
podcast. People who knew me, be like, she's on a podcast right now. She's like, she don't even talk. Like, I don't even but, um, and I love the energy that you bring in, and I think that everybody can start using this to feed off of each other. And like you said, your biggest goal in 2026 is to collaborate, and collaboration is going to be, and especially if you do it through social media, it's going to be the most powerful thing that you can do for your business. It's going to your net worth. Your network is your net worth. So if you do not know people, if you do not have people that you like you said, you taking the stand on business tour globally, right? So you
mhm,
can, be out in a state where you haven't, maybe you never been to Colorado, but you're like, hey, hold on, I know Athena out there, right? So
uh-huh,
you get different type of connections. So everybody needs to start thinking about, how can I start leveraging social media, and how can
yeah,
I start becoming someone who brings something to the table as far as social media? Because everybody, I don't care who you are, like you said, it's either is in you or it's not in you, and it's hard to be an entrepreneur. It's very hard to be an
yeah,
entrepreneur. It's hard to make that transition. It's hard to say, I'm gonna bet on myself instead of
yeah,
betting on a lottery ticket. So you got to be able to, make that transition. So I
mhm,
love that you bring that information, and social media is where it's at, people. It's where it's at. It's where you can start your business. Now let me ask you this: how is, like, when we talk about, products, right? What
mhm,
what type of products, first of all, what type of products do you offer, and what do you think, how important do you think it is to get a digital product nowadays?
mhm. I think that I think everybody should have some type of digital product. And the reason why is because if you are an entrepreneur, or even if you don't consider yourself an entrepreneur, right? If there is something that you have exceptional knowledge of, something that you love, something that is a hobby, something that is a craft, something that you are good at, you can monetize that. And you can monetize that with a digital product. And it is super simple to do that. I have my digital products I have are about social media. I have some other ones that people can resell, with some other companies. But I just went and created my own digital products. It's not a difficult thing to do. But I truly believe that anybody can do it, right? Let's say, let me think of a couple examples. Okay. Let's say that somebody does a podcast, right? Somebody has a podcast and they're like, I want a little bit more income. I need another stream, but I don't really want to start another business, right? Because you don't always have to do that. Okay. But you want a little bit more money. What can you teach people about having a podcast, right? Maybe it's something that you learn. Maybe it's how to start. Maybe it's how to find sponsors, right? Maybe it's how to create it with no money. Maybe it's how to find the money. Maybe it's how to fix your credit so you can receive what you need to build the podcast studio of your dreams, whatever it may be, right? Or how to find your dream guest with a podcast. It doesn't matter. Whatever you think you are good at, you can make that into a digital product, right? Like maybe you are a hairstylist. Okay, you could do a whole digital product on advice on booking sites, right? And how to do that, right? And how to grow your clientele. Maybe you are a realtor. You can do a digital product on your signs, or what to do with the kitchen. Maybe you are a professional painter. You can do a digital product on color schemes, right? And what that does for people. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Maybe your husband is diabetic, and so you know how to make all these recipes that are good for him. Make a freaking digital product. You know how much money you
Yes.
would make off of that? Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. Digital products are huge. They are simple, and people will pay for your knowledge.
Yeah.
People will pay for your knowledge. We have come into a place in time where everybody works so much, right? The world is expensive. We all have a lot to do. And so the beauty of that is because everybody is so busy and trying to do their own thing, people pay for your services, people pay for your knowledge, even more now than ever. Right, like with credit repair. Okay, credit repair is something that is huge. Okay,
Right.
and people truly pay for that because they do not have time for it. Right, like the knowledge, it can be super confusing. There's a lot of behind the scene things that people do not know. Right, and so people pay for that because they need it. Nobody has time. Nobody has time to just go off and figure all that out by themselves. They will pay for your services. Is a very important. And credit is huge right now. Right, so people pay for your services because they're not going to take the time to figure all that out. They would rather pay somebody that has the knowledge. So use your knowledge, use your craft, use what you are passionate about, and make money off of it.
Mm. And that's real. Like it's literally that simple. It's point blank.
Yeah.
And when we talk about digital products, I'm gonna tell you why I asked you that question because I think that coaches and consultants are the backbone of entrepreneurship. Okay. Coaching and consulting is how anyone can transition into a retirement. I was in a
Mm-hmm.
position where I was working at Burger King when I'm only 23, but I was working at Burger King when I was about 15. And the second I got into credit, I was like, how fast can I come up, right? It came up
Right.
real quick. So,
Mm-hmm.
when you think about teaching somebody things, right? And I just came out with my very first course, right? And I
Yes.
literally made the course in like 2 days, like 20, 30, lessons. It's not that
Yep.
hard. Made my own
No.
ebooks.
Mm-hmm.
Just came out with my own ebook bundle, right? And it's really not
Mm-hmm.
hard, people. And let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you, how important is it to transition into coaching when you're, like you said, you can do it with anything if you're making a digital product. But how important is it to transition into a coach or a consultant? I think that's real important.
Yeah. I will say that just because you have a digital product does not mean that you have to professionally consult people or coach,
Right.
right? So, so you do not have to do that. It's really an extra link to make some extra money and an easy way to make extra content for yourself, right? But if you are that passionate about that knowledge, I feel like you can transition pretty easily too. You really just have to tell people about it. Right, because that's also where the money is too. And sometimes, your digital products, you might make some money off of, you might have a freebie that you do that catches people. And really I don't want to say the trick, but the trick in it is to be able to flow that in your content, right? You need to flow what you're doing that's free. And you don't have to have free service, but if you have a free service, and then what can they receive after that if they want more, right? And then maybe they spent $20 on your booklet and they loved it so much. And then they watch your lives and they're in love with you and they're like, okay, girl, I need you to coach me, right? You need to make sure that you have all of those steps prepared for yourself. So when people come to you, because they're going to come to you, make sure you have that ready to go. And that also comes with what we talked about at the very beginning too. It's so organic. Just allow it to happen. Just allow it to happen.
Mm, that's real. That's real. Let me ask you this, and I think let me throw this in there. How do you use AI? Because I think AI is a huge thing when we talk. I think it has its ups and it has its downs, just like everything. But let me ask
Mhm.
you, do you use AI when you're making content? And if you don't, what's your thoughts on it? But if you do, how easy or how can that be an asset to people? Because I use AI when I make my content. I use it when I do like my content calendars. Like how can I put all these ideas into a quick calendar? That's what I use it for. Certain things like that. So I think it can be great. But what's your thoughts on AI? Do you think people can use it? Do you think it's for everybody? Like what's your thoughts?
AI is becoming a political conversation. Like
Very much.
for real, it's getting super heavy, especially being an author. Um, there are people that are so angry because there are some authors in you AI in 5 days you got a book out, right? And then you have people that spend years on their books and they're angry about it. And to me, I feel like, well, I'm not knocking anybody's hustle, because if sis over here put out an AI book in 5 days and she makes money doing that, there I am not going to knock her whatsoever, right?
Period.
Now uh, it's becoming a touchy subject. I mean,
It is.
even on the news now too, they're talking. There was don't quote me on this, but there was a CEO or president or something of the AI company or whatever that said, it's we kind of have to be um, aware of consequences of using AI and what is to come, right? They
100%.
talk about the water, and I don't understand. I don't know all of it. I don't understand how it all uses our water, and that we could have a water shortage. I'm not going to get into that too deep because I don't know enough of it to tell people either which way. I think AI is an awesome thing that we have. I think that people are a little too sensitive about some of it and not realizing that AI is artificial intelligence and we've had it for a really long time, right? This is not new, right? The only difference is it's becoming to where simple people, regular people, have more of an understanding about it. I use AI somewhat. I definitely check myself sometimes with AI. My brain goes a lot all the time. I have like tabs in my mind that are going like 5 different things all the time, right? And so sometimes I do use AI for like some of my posts, or I'm like, chat, this is what I'm trying to say, and I can't quite, I can't quite get it together. What am I
Right.
trying to say, right? And chat will tell me what's up and where I'm going, because we talk enough, right? Like that's my bestie for real. So I do use AI for some things. One of my book covers, Lion to Lioness, it was my second book that I did. It is an AI cover. It was created on Chat GTP. I am not upset about it. I'm not mad about it. I tried for 6 months to find somebody that could create the image of, it's half of my face and half of the lion, and nobody could create it. Nobody. And I'm like, you know what? We're just going to try it. And literally, AI was the only thing that could create what I envisioned. So I did use AI for that, and I'm so glad that I did, and I'm super proud of it. And it's a dope book cover. I think AI is an awesome tool. And there's a lot of AI things that I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know. I'm super impressed. Now I can't do the AI photos. Like God did not make me to be an AI girl. I don't my face doesn't work with it. Okay. Like some people I'm like, girl, that's what you look like. Not me. It makes me look weird. But kudos to the girls that can do that. I know girls that make, $20,000-$30,000 a month selling how to use AI and do your own photo shoots. And kudos to them. I think that is baller. I don't do it because I can't do it and it makes me look crazy. So, I mean, honestly, I really feel like to each his own, right? If it helps you in your business, then use it as a tool. It's a tool that we have. What comes later on with us using it, I don't know. Is it I mean, if it's going to affect us super heavily, I guess we're going to mess around and find out. But it is a tool that we have. And I say, use it to your advantage if that's what you want to do. And if you don't like it, don't use it.
Getting real political, so you just gotta you gotta be able to separate it. You gotta be able to separate
Yeah.
it, and I think it's important that we do understand that there are dangers to it, and we do understand
Mhm.
that there are ways that we can as entrepreneurs leverage it as well. I
Yeah,
just wanted to throw that in there because I think it's a big issue right now, and like you said
it
with the
is.
photo things, the photo I definitely can't do the photos, but I did use it for all of my book covers and
Mhm.
even when I was doing you use Canva sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Canva has the AI part in there where you can just literally say I want this photo and this photo in there, make it
Mhm.
into a Facebook post or whatever.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I think that's important to talk about AI, especially as entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a quick question about your audience, right? What
Mhm.
do you have to say? Because I know you said you're a mompreneur, so I want you to tell me what do you look for when you're trying to teach someone about publishing a book or you're trying to teach someone about content. What do you think someone needs to have to come in and join your circle?
You have to be ready. And even if you don't know exactly where you're going or what you're doing, right? You don't know what the path is, you don't have a business plan. I love when people say, Mary, I'm stuck. Mary, I don't know. Like, Mary, I've been watching you. Let's get this money. Like, what can we do? That is what I love. Because I don't have it all figured out. And we've spent a lot of years with people gatekeeping, and people not telling us what's real, right? And you thinking that you're selling little sweet stories and whatever. And I'm not with that. I've been in the game for too long. Like, if you send me a message that says, "Hey, Mary, I just got this great opportunity where we can all receive financial freedom, and it's going to be great. And can you hop on a Zoom?" No,
No.
no, because I don't
Right.
know what you're talking about, right? Like, that's what we talked about a few years ago, financial freedom, whatever. Okay, you can create that however. So there's a lot of gatekeeping, and that used to be a big thing, and it's not cute anymore. And don't do that. Like, I need you to tell me, hey girl, I own a travel agency and I want you to get on here and let's make this money. Do you want to talk about it? And I'm gonna say yes or no, right? Like, hey, sis, I got this foundation. I think you'll like it. You used to sell tanning gel. What's up? You want information? And I can tell you yes or no. The gatekeeping and all that, and it makes people feel uncomfortable, right? I love MLMs. I love affiliate marketing. I love digital marketing. I love brick and mortar, right? I love web, and I love all of it. Whatever you are doing, I absolutely love it. But the people that I want is the people that just know that they want to go somewhere, and they might not know where they're going or what they're going to do, but they know that they want to do something big, right? Because so much stuff just doesn't matter, right? All the stuff that we be worried about does not matter at all. The most important thing is that you do what you want to do, right? And so many of us live miserable lives because you lived a life that you thought you were supposed to do, right? And if I lived the life that I thought I was supposed to live, that I was taught that I was supposed to live, right? I would be failing at life right now because it's not what I'm supposed to do. It's not where I'm supposed to be. It's not what I'm supposed to do. And that's a big part of my calling. So anybody that comes to me, you just have to want it. Whatever it is that you want, you just have to want it. If you come over here, you're going to get more. Whatever it is that you want. You want more clientele, you want more money, you want more followers, you want more time, you want more sleep, right? Whatever it is that you want more of, is what we do.
Everything comes down to entrepreneurship, like at the end of the day. Like it comes
Mhm.
down to, like you said, you could tell me, I have a great opportunity for financial freedom. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do the fluff. I can't. it's too much and not enough at the same time. So
Right.
I think it's real important that like we and it all comes back to what we were saying, stand on that business and be
Mhm.
organic. Like just be organic. Like you can just tell someone, hey, I'm in the credit repair space. Do you need your credit fixed? Like what,
Mhm.
and I don't get mad when a client already, will cut me off and say, "What's the price? What's the price? What's the price?" So and I want everybody to start asking themselves the same question, like, what is the price? What is it going to cost to you? Like, what
Yeah.
are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to build on? What are you willing to understand so that you can be understood, right? So I think that all that comes down to, what we're willing to do for ourselves and what we're willing to do for, like we said, financial freedom. You can build financial freedom by going to the MBA, or you can build financial freedom by starting your own business. You can build financial freedom
Mhm.
by robbing a bank. You don't know, right?
Mhm.
There's so many different ways. The funny, no, we're not promoting no illegal activities. But I say that to say, like everything is about like where do you see yourself, right? How do you view yourself? How do you view your value? Like, are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to put in the work? If you want to lose 15 pounds in a month, what are you willing to do to make sure that that happens? If you want to get
Mhm.
5,000 followers in 2 3 years or 2 3 months, however fast you want to get it done, right? What are you willing to do? Because you don't know how to do nothing you've never done, right? So that's why I
Right.
always tell people, invest in coaches, invest in people who invest in you. And like Mary said, you get more when you come around this space, right? So
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
give more than you're willing to receive too. I think that's something that I took from everything that you said as well. So I love that
Mhm.
you said that. And I'm gonna ask you this, right? Where do you see yourself and where do you see your business in the next 5 years? I
Ooh.
had to do it. I had to do it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Um, in 5 years, I don't want to be anywhere but on stage. That's all. I don't want to
Yes.
be anywhere but on stage. That's all. That's all. I want to be on stage globally. Um, I'll tell you what, we were taught, I don't know how old you are, but we were taught at my age that you went to college, you got a degree,
Yeah.
you got married, you had kids, you bought a house, whatever. That's it, right? That's it. You live happily ever after. And whoever has done that, I love that for you. I absolutely love that for you, right? But it made a lot of us feel like we have failed, right? Especially in this economy, a lot of people would never be able to afford a house, right? Um, and so a lot of us felt like we did it wrong. We did it backwards, right? We couldn't accomplish what we were supposed to. That is not it at all. Um, I want to have my goal in 5 years is to have apartment buildings in all of the cities that I want to visit around the country. I don't want a big house. I don't want a white picket fence. I want condos wherever I want to go so I can travel. In 5 years, I will be 40 and all of five of my children will be grown. Okay. So my hopes for them is that they go wherever they want to. They don't have to be up under mom. I want them to go live their life because mama's going to go live hers. I want real estate everywhere and I want to be on stage. And that's it. That's it. I really just want to take what I'm doing now and I've had to learn a lot of patience the last couple of years and the way that my mind works. When I have an idea, I want it now. And I'm going to create it and I'm going to do it. And what I've had to understand is that I might have an idea today of something that I say I'm going to do, but it takes 5 years to get to that. Right. Um, and that's it. That's it. I want to travel and I want to see people and I want to love on people. And just continue to teach people that they can do whatever they want and they can live however they want. And
Mm,
you live unapologetically in your own space. And that is success. Beyond anything else, that's success.
mm. That's true success, and that sounds
Yeah,
like happiness
yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
peace as well. So I like
Yes.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I think so many people take that for granted, the actual aspect of traveling and just being able to live your life on your own terms. If I want to go take a flight and go to Morocco for the weekend, I want to be able to do
Yeah,
that, you know?
right.
And
Absolutely.
and I love that you said that. And I say that because I want to stamp it. I want to be able to be like, I'm gonna call you in about 5 years. I'm gonna be like, Mary, you remember that
Uh-huh. You
interview we did
better.
a couple years ago? How's that
You better.
going? So I love that. And I like that you said traveling and owning apartment buildings and investing and all that. And you either, I hear a lot of people say this, and it's either you're going to invest your time or you're going to invest your money. And you can do
Hello.
both at times. But what
Hmm.
are you willing to invest? And I'm willing to invest my time to learn and to understand things. And it sounds like you are ready to be on that stage. And I love the fact that you're trying to get on the stage because it really like you really remind me of like a real talk Kim type of person. And I don't know if you've
Hmm.
ever listened to her, but she's very ecstatic and very exciting to listen to. And she kind of like just breaks it down for people that just are real down to earth people, just that, go to work every day and they just need a little encouragement to invest in themselves.
Yeah.
So I love all the energy that you've brought onto this podcast. And this is what I usually tell people when we kind of close it up, right? Whatever
Hmm.
your expertise is, whatever you came on the podcast to talk about, I tell people, give us a game plan that someone can use to start their content creation journey, and how can they leverage that? Like, what is a game plan that anybody can start using today to use social media in their business or in their future to help them better themselves? Because that's what we talked about today. How can you use social media to not only better your business, but also to better yourself? Because you make a lot of genuine connections. You really do. You might see a lot. We see all the stuff on social media. We do, but you
Hmm.
make genuine connections in real life. So give us a
Hmm.
game plan on something that anyone can use to get them started right now.
Absolutely. And this is in the first chapter of my book that just published last week, Social Media 101. It's on Barnes and Noble. But chapter one says, pick your five. Okay. So I want you to have a pen and paper, not put your phone to the side. Get pen and paper. I'm old school. I like pen and paper. And write out 5 things about yourself. Okay. 5 things about yourself, whether it is your business, your hobby, um, something that's real random and goofy about yourself. Um, maybe your children and the dog you have, right? Whatever that is. Okay. Come up with your five. Write that five down. Get your phone now. And those 5 things is all you ever have to post about. That's it. And just start. Just start.
Right.
Doesn't matter. You don't, doesn't matter. Stuff does not have to be aesthetically pleasing. People don't even like that mess. Okay. People don't even really like you if you're aesthetically pleasing. I'm gonna keep it all the way funky. I do my lives in my car. People know me as the girl that does her lives in her car. I wear leather, I wear leopard, I wear fur coats, I wear high heels, and my brand is pink. Okay. That is what people know. That's what people know about me. Pick your five. And that's all you have to do is start posting. And you will understand the magic in that very quickly. Okay. Maybe you are a hairstylist and you just opened your first salon, right? You don't have very many clients and you're super nervous about it. Maybe the first thing you do every day is go to Starbucks. Okay. So what should you do? Talk about it. Post your Starbucks every day. You know what's going to happen? You're going to have people that start following you and talking to you because they're like, girl, I go to Starbucks every day too. And they're going to send you their drink in Messenger because they want to be your friend, right? And then guess what? This woman that drinks Starbucks every morning, she has 3 daughters that need haircuts and she's never been able to find a hairstylist. Now you just got 3 clients. Okay. It's that simple. It's not that hard. Okay. All you have to do is find your five and start posting about it. And just post about it. Doesn't matter what your hair looks like. It doesn't matter if your makeup is perfect. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna tell you a little side note of this, not to be super long, but I want to tell you this too because I sit here and I talk and I can talk forever. And I've always been very confident and loud in person. I was a cheerleader. I could sing all those things. Very confident in person. I do not have videos of myself or my face anywhere until 2021 when I started doing affiliate marketing because I did not like how my voice sounded and I did not like how I looked on camera. So there's no proof of me in anything for years because I was so self-conscious about how I sounded. I even told these people I'm not a valley girl. I do not sound like y'all. I do not look like y'all. I do not speak like y'all. You know what I mean? Like the things that I talk about are not going to be what you're talking about, right? I do not have a rich husband on the golf course. I'm trying to retire because I got this master's degree. Nothing. I was out here hustling as a single mom, right? I'm selling some tannin gel and making it work, right? Making some money. That's what I was doing. And they said, no, Mary, show up like that. And I did. And because I showed up like that, that's how I became successful. So I was terrified. I was terrified of the laugh. I was terrified of people hearing my voice and what I sounded like. I didn't know how to do it, but I just did it and it worked. So don't be scared. Okay. Don't sit and think, Mary, that girl, she can just talk and she's so good and I can't do that. Yes, you can. Absolutely, yes, you can. I've talked in my phone to myself for so many hours now. It just get your 5. Get your 5 and start. You don't have to have a business plan. You don't have to sit and think about it. Do not stress yourself out. Write down your 5 and start posting, and it's all going to come to you.
Mary, give us some game today. Give us some game. That 5 is real important. That 5 is going to get you places. It's going to get you places, y'all. And really, when y'all write down y'all 5, I want y'all to reach out to Mary, right? All her stuff is going to be in the description, right? When y'all write down y'all 5, reach out to Mary and she gonna let y'all know like you in the right position, right? And even if you don't reach out to Mary, I want you guys to write down your 5 and stick to it and show up. That was one of the biggest things I took from everything you said today was showing up, being consistent, being organic. Showing up is the biggest thing you can do. Whether you show up, because the thing about it is when you show up, even if you don't want to show up today, you still showed up, and you still, things can change. Sometimes you go through the motions and you go into work and somebody might say, hey, how you doing? And your day might change, right? So things change, and the only thing you can do is stay grounded and stay ready to work, stay ready to show up, stay ready to invest in yourself. So I think that is going to conclude. I think we hit the goal today. I think we gonna run this one up because we talked about some powerful things today. We talked about being consistent. We talked about content. We talked about showing up. We even gave y'all a little bit of sauce about algorithms, and Mary broke it down for y'all, right? We gave y'all some game, right? Y'all gonna have to run it back, right? And let me know how y'all feeling. So I really, really appreciate Mary for coming on the podcast. Thank you so, so much. Everything that you told me today is going to not only help me get some things moving, it's going to help the people, our viewers, your audience. My audience is now our audience. And I love everything that you said today. You came with some powerful, genuine conversation, right? Yeah. And that's all I can ask for, right? So I really appreciate you, Mary, for coming on the podcast. If you guys love this podcast episode and you want to see Mary come back for part 2, maybe even part 3, y'all got to comment Mary. Mary, comment more with Mary. And let's run it up. Again, I appreciate everyone who was tuned into the Wealthy and Healthy podcast. It is your host with the most, K Capri, and I'm going to see y'all on the next one.